But Tom, I want to jump into this about 2024 because when you're going alone, it's kind of hard, right? Tom, I know you've been an entrepreneur for a while. I've been an entrepreneur for a while. Sometimes doing this alone is a hard thing. You know, we're all here, we're all advisors. Many of us work from home. Some of us are isolated from other advisors. We're isolated from the business community. And I've seen, you know, having coached tens of thousands of advisors and doing calls every week with individual advisors, I could see how sometimes we get stuck, and this happens to me too. I'm part of this, right? We get stuck in our own little silos. We kind of forget what else is happening out there. And sometimes it can be discouraging. It can be hard, right? Because you're like, am I doing the right thing? And are you surrounding yourself with the right people, right? I mean, Jim Rohn, one of my favorite speakers, was quoted as saying, you are the sum of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. So think about this. Who are the top 5 people in your life you spend time with? Are they individuals that are going to elevate your game? Or could they maybe be holding you back? Well, that's why Tom and I are really excited to announce something very special that we're doing just coming up here in March. Maybe, Tom, you want to kick this off? Because I know you and I both love to travel. Why don't you tell us a little bit about our mastermind, what we're doing, and why we decided to do it?
Yeah, so let me just tell you my experience with Mastermind. So I'm a member of the National Speakers Association. Within that association, I'm a member of the $1 Million Speakers Group. That's like the top 30 or 40 speakers, you know, in the country. And we, in 2018, I went to the meeting, we had a mastermind. And all these top speakers, you got to understand, I'm like a minnow in this group. There's whales in there. I'm a minnow, all right? And I keep hearing these speakers say, you got to set up these evergreen webinars. You got to set up these evergreen webinars. You got to set up these evergreen. So I did. In 2019, I set up a bunch of evergreen webinars that play 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And then I started driving people to these webinars. Well, then guess what? COVID hit. And I had all the digital stuff ready. I had all the webinars ready. 2020 was by far my best year ever. And that one mastermind, I think, brought at least $1 million to my bottom line, okay, just from one mastermind session. So Jeremiah and I held a mastermind in New York a couple of months ago, and that was a raving success. And we said, look, we got to do this again. And so we've decided to do a mastermind for just 10 people. That's it. There's not 100 people, 10 people, because that way we get enough people to share, but we don't have too many where nobody gets to talk. So everybody's going to get a chance to share what's working for them. And then they're going to get a chance to say your biggest problem. And then the mastermind will try to help you solve your problem or what your challenges are. So it's going to be on March 8th in San Juan, Puerto Rico. It's going to be beautiful. I think the weather should be great. And again, it's limited to 10 advisors.
Yeah. So we're going to tell you a little bit more about this, but how many of you are at least interested in the idea to be one of the first 10? Just go ahead and put 10. We're not holding you to it. I'm just curious to see how many of you here would love to be one of the 10 folks that mastermind with Tom and I. And Tom, I just want to ask you a question about that mastermind. Do you think that you would have learned that strategy outside that room from all of these other massive whale speakers?
No, I wouldn't have.
I wouldn't have told anybody
in front of them. I got to spend an entire day with some of the top speakers in the world. You know, I mean, that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is just so basically you're going to have VIP access. So tons of people. Yes, looks like we've got a bunch of interest. That's awesome. All right, so stick around for the application. We're going to show you how to apply. We actually got a quick, cool little video. And then don't forget, I want to give you guys a really good tip here. This is going to be VIP access. It's only to 10 folks. All right, so you're going to have personal access to us. And what we learned in the New York mastermind, there was, I mean, you're going to hear in the video in just a second, some folks were saying that was a 6-figure idea. Others said it was 7 figures. Others said, I'm going to take this from 10 to 30 advisors that just based it on what they're learning. And remember, it's not just Tom and I, it's learning from each other, right? And that's what I feel is so powerful about masterminds is you get to learn and be in this room of 6 and 7-figure producers that are all willing to share the secrets. And I mean, any opportunity that I have in life I call it compressing time, right? Yeah, I could probably go out and kind of figure this out on my own and take 15 years to do it. But why don't I just go to one place and in a day, I can compress 15 years into a day? Like, why wouldn't you want to do that and hit success faster, right? So a couple of just logistical details. You'll be responsible for your own travel, lodging, and meals and all that stuff. And you'll want to fly into San Juan, Puerto Rico. Just go ahead and write down March 8th, if you would. Just write down March 8th. You can check the date later with your family and so forth. Now, Tom and I, we're going to do this initially at $7,500 per person for the whole day. Okay, it's a whole day experience. Plus, we're going to have a dinner the night before. But we have an early bird price. If we fill this up, then that's it, right? It's basically gone. There's no more seats to offer. And Tom and I have a strict policy of how many people we want. All right, early bird price is $5,000 and it's $2,500 down, which is then you can pay the rest in February, but $2,500 down to reserve your spots. But I want to share with you how to get started. And we also have a very special guest who's going to be there. So make sure that you apply. Here's how you do. You just start your application, first name, last name, email, and your phone number, hit submit. And then we've got a little bit of a questionnaire. We want to interview you ahead of time, and there'll be an opportunity to put your deposit in, and then you'll get on a call with myself or Tom. We just want to have a quick chat. We want to make sure there's going to be a good fit. It's first we want to see, is it going to be valuable for you, right? Based on your production level and what you're doing, and are you going to be a good resource, and will you be able to add value to the other 9 advisors that will be there? The night before, so this would be March the 7th, we're going to have a dinner with the mentors. So we're all going to go out. We're going to have dinner together. We're going to have a great time. And then we have the whole experience. Now, something very, very cool. We're going to invite a controversial figure to be there. This is Mr. Harry Dent, who's a multi-time New York Times best-selling author, one of the most outspoken financial editors in America, who has written multiple books on predicting economic booms and busts. And he's going to be a very special guest. If you think what Tom and I did today was interesting, I just talked to him in Puerto Rico last week. He has this special presentation he's going to give just to advisors, and you're going to be able to have the deck. This guy is unbelievable. I mean, what he's done, and he's controversial. And I like to bring people who like to rant and so forth. You may like him, you may not like him, but man, you can't ignore the data that he's sharing. It's going to be pretty fascinating to have him on there. So that's what Tom and I wanted to invite you down, is to come and join us for this mastermind. Again, you want to go to this page right now and start the application process. When you get to the end, it'll be a $2,500 deposit. Jasmine will get on the phone with you just to make sure you have all your basic logistical questions, and then you'll get on a call with us, myself or Tom, to just make sure you're a good fit. Remember, there's only 10 spots. There's hundreds of you here, and just based on what I see here, we're probably going to fill up at least the first spots almost right away. And Tom's going to be making a lot of noise. Between Tom and I, we have 100,000 advisors we're going to let know about this over the next couple of weeks. So make sure you don't miss out. We're going to have a phenomenal time together. Tom, any final words about the mastermind here?
Yeah, so let me say something about Harry Dent. I've been following Harry Dent for probably 30 years, and I think he's brilliant. Now, where he's made some mistakes in the past is he'll say, like, on August 27th, the market will crash 20%. Well, you can't predict that with that precision. But he studies all these waves and cycles. And the problem has been that the Federal Reserve has been printing a bunch of money. The government's been spending a bunch of money that throws the cycles and the waves off. So his research is real. It's believable, but our government keeps screwing it up. And so I'm very interested to hear what he says. I've been following for years. I've been reading his books. And we're going to try to have a couple other top speakers. We're still in the process of getting that. Just for short, because we don't want it to be a speaker session. We want it to be focused on you, but we thought if we could bring in some high value people to talk for 20, 30 minutes, you could ask them questions, that would be another way we could bring more value to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So just a couple of things. Scott's saying 5K, that's a screaming deal. I know. So here's the thing, right? Tom and I wanted to put the price point at such a place that if you're really not at the place in your business where this is for you, the price point would be prohibitive. But if you're successful and you're doing well, 5K to learn from 10 peers that are either at your level or higher, like what could you learn from a guy like Coach Pete, right? That did like 200 million in fixed index annuities just off of one strategy. I mean, this guy's a machine. Chamberlain's got 11 advisors and he's going to go to 30 advisors. Do you think you'd learn anything from him? I mean, unbelievable, right? So yeah, we did make this pretty reachable with everybody. It's not a 20K mastermind, it's just 5K. And we'd love to have you guys. So remember, make sure you do your application for this. Let me just see, I want to make sure I hit all the questions. Yeah, somebody is saying, I always love the interaction when I go to meetings and meet other advisors. So we want to invite you guys to come and hang out with us in Puerto Rico. Hey, you can make a whole long weekend out of it. You don't need a passport and you're still part of the United States. If you're coming out of Canada, obviously you need to do that. If you're coming from another country, of course you need a passport, but it's beautiful weather, and I might have a few other surprise guests. I'm not going to reveal them now, but that's what it is. So folks, you want to make sure to submit your application right now. Go to the link that's in the chat that we just dropped right there. Thank you so much, Jazz. Okay,